That's a great. Even that I get on my knees and pray that I will go down. I will go down. Legendary moves. Leader of my crew. Heavy as the head that wear the crown. That shit true. Do it like that muscle. That's to fill some big shows. What good is excuses when the fucking wrist go? Smoking all that shit though. Run away from my pain, rosemary on my temples. Heard that's good for migraines. Solo in my benzo. Exit off the highway. Solitary thoughts like how to reinvest my side change. Tryna go down, that's a grind. Every night I get on my knees and pray. I will go down. I will go down. I'm tryna go down. Now is a list. Every night I ask God for the blessing. I will go down. So many niggas doing time. Who are you and I? To play with it is a blessing, so reach for the sky. Pick up shady off the block and we'll smoke and drive. Politicking on the block to make it multiply. Keep some bitches on the team from the other side. Keep at least about a green, motherfucking right. 30 hours in the spot, going overtime. Then we pull up to the Fox and go overtime. You know this life, it got a cold design. How you vote for me, lobster tail to ocean prime. Chain to a smoke, throw on the line. When them gates close, keep open mind. It ain't no force in this world like a focus drive. You gotta focus on yourself like an only child. You make your dream realer, and you make your team better. You make your game up, and you make your scheme better. You say this time, won't be like the last time, be like the last time. This time, do it like the last time. I'ma go for my name, put my name in the stars, my name. I gotta pray to God, my name. I will go down. To be legendary, to be legendary, be legendary. Who don't wanna be legendary? Wanna be
Peace. What up, though? Turn up one time for the one time, man. Man, we back on the block, back on the battlefield. You feel me? One more shot at it, man. To break the chains and the shackles out the minds of the people that has been placed here by Pan-Africanism and white supremacy. I want to first out double salute everybody that pulled up, man. Took time out today, out your life. Come over here and rock with us at BCU. Man, I do want to say this here, bro, because waking up every day, bro, and going after something, man. I know everybody ain't gonna have the same passion. You feel me? Everybody ain't gonna be here for the same reasons. You feel me? And you know, that's even more the reason why a nigga go hard, right? I gotta stay consistent, bro. I can't talk about nothing but Indian shit. You know, gotta stay consistent on that, bro. Gotta stay, you know, making sure that this shit here, the information, man, we standing on something, you know. So when you look at the game out here, bro, it's a lot of, you know, within, you know, we loving the fact that a lot of people is coming into it. A lot of people are waking it up. This is a great awakening. This is their era. Uh, you know, but with that, it's gonna come a lot of people who here for a different reason. They might be saying the same thing, America, America, but so what I'm getting at, bro, is this here. So when we look at the board right now, it's a lot of controversy, back and forth going on with Americans and Africans. You got a lot of that going on with Americans and Africans. I do understand the situation for as the immigrants, but I do want people to understand this here too. This shit is international. It's not no just online type of shit. It's international now. It might be online for some people, man, but you got very, very important people who paying attention to this. And the way that it's popping out now, it don't seem like it's just happening. It may be started out organically, but now this shit here feels like it's turning into an agenda. Feel like it's turning into an agenda. What I'm gonna say is, bro, these people, these immigrants who come here, they are now politicians, they are now lawmakers. These immigrants are in the U.S. Army. This is the story of you being written out of your own story. This is one of them situations. You being exiled on your own land. And so with that, you know, the way that it's being handled, and some people using this, you know, using it for their own personal agendas. See, what we don't want to do is we don't want to get caught up in the bullshit, right? We don't want what we have going on, because at the end of the day, we're only here because what was taken from us, what was stolen from us, and for the legacy of our family. You got other people who are here, you know, with the bullshit, acting like they're saying the same thing we saying, but they pushing the bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you right now, bro, this ain't that. This ain't for this to get dirtied up or muddied up or none of that shit. If you're here for your family, you're here for your family. If you standing on, you are the rightful landowners in this, then that separates you from an immigrant. Period. Long as I've been around them fucking Africans, I ain't them motherfuckers. They know who I am. The motherfuckers don't say nothing, bro. I don't, you know, even the Native American niggas and all that other shit, bro. You don't hear these niggas, even these Pan-Africans. You got a chosen few, but for the most part, them niggas don't have my name in their mouth, bro. I stand on Indian business, period. I ain't got to go look and search for other avenues and be touching in a nigga. I'm here for American Indians. Bars, that's it. We here to push this line on American Indian, man, genealogy, man, and under your motherfucking family. All that other shit, you niggas can't come up in here and fuck this shit up. Everybody waking up to it now. That's cool. Genealogy on the forefront, the Pan area, everybody asking for genealogy now. That's cool. What I'm saying is, bro, we do not have to jump the gun and go out here and you know, it's a marathon at the end of the day. What I'm saying is, what people are on the board right now, bro, as long as we keep doing what we're doing, in time, you know, it'll, you know, everybody will be saying the same shit, bro. So I'm saying, you know, a lot of this shit here, bro, it started to get fucked up with that immigrant shit. We ain't on that. We ain't trying to be hated. We ain't trying to be turned into no motherfucking, hey, nigga, look, that ain't what we here for. Because see, niggas ain't gonna be looking for their family, then they gonna be over here with the bullshit. This shit here, we gotta set a standard for this shit here. You feel me? We gotta set a standard for this shit here, you know. Big Mama say, leave that shit in the street, bro. Don't bring that shit in. Leave the streets in the streets, man. That part. So yeah, we got a good thing going, man. We gotta take care of it. You feel me? And I'm telling you, that's where the agents and everybody come in. What we said, the first nigga get up, we gonna put this shit on our family. We ain't asking you to follow nobody. We saying go home. We saying drop all these doctrines and go home. Bars. We ain't asking you to follow nobody. Drop all of these doctrines, family, and go home. And the first nigga get up, what we say, the first person get up and say, hey, I know another way other than our family, then that's the agent. And you see these other motherfuckers out here, bro, they out here trying to bang against Africans, saying, oh, we American, we this, we American, but they ain't got no motherfucking bloodline. See, we done raised the bar. This ain't no scholarship conversation. This ain't about no debate shit. This about, do you know who the fuck you are, nigga, or not? We killing all of that shit there, bro. You got to be the smartest nigga in the room and read all these books and all of that shit. Nigga, that shit dead, nigga. How deep you done got in your family tree, nigga? We not doing that because, listen, once we go by the other shit, bro, you let in all of these niggas, other niggas. Y'all see the elbows over there? They just switch that shit. They're gonna get clouded. We don't need all that dirty shit. We don't, bro. We gotta stay focused, keep this shit on family and bloodline. And when the race is over, we gonna be the winners. Ain't no doubt about it. Peace to everybody that pulled up, man. We got a good build, man. We gonna build on the making of a Native American. This part 2. If y'all haven't caught part 1, we did that August 2020, man. Y'all go check out part 1. It's in the making of an African American series, I think. Yeah, over on BCU. So Keys Corner, what up, though? Sue said, Tiff Johnson, what's up with it? Damon Ken Brooks in the building. DJ Selling for life in that whole Khalil. I see you, family. Yes, everything. Yeah, we got some big boys today, man. I wanna Nate Berry say, where is BCU? Somebody, y'all got a link in here? All right, what's up with it? Vaughn Turner one time, the Bay in the building. He say, man, I'm new to this. How do I get plugged in? I don't know, don't worry about it. Somebody down there take care of you. But yeah, appreciate it. Done just dropped it down there. VA in the motherfucking building. What's up with it, T Davis? EJ in the building, representing North Carolina. What's up with the Rainstorm? See, I've been listening, just driving. Okay, no problem. Do your thing, goddamn. Yanni Versatile in the building. Kill 314 though. I see you. Yeah, man. So we wanted to do this build right here for BCU, bro. This was supposed to be in a BCU build, but you know, we fuck around and can do it here. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this ain't that type of party. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas gonna put some points on the motherfucking scoreboard tonight. That part. What's up with it, John Lee, Tyler, Texas in this hoe? Got some country boys in this hoe, goddamn. Ride horse, bareback, no saddles out there, Tyler, Texas, goddamn. Nigga raised up 6, 7 people in the goddamn schoolhouse. Nigga fucking early out there. Them country boys. Country boy fucking early. Yeah, nigga fucking by the lake and shit. Nigga out there with the mosquitoes and shit out there fucking by the lake. Shout out to goddamn John Lee in this hoe. He probably a junior or the third. Probably John Lee the third, like a motherfucker. Fucking with them country boys. Theo in the building. What up, though? He say, what's happening with y'all? BCU in this bitch. Turn up one time. Yes, everything. Nigga talking about fat. Yeah, that nigga that still eat poach chops. Hey, don't let nobody run y'all away from them goddamn poach chops, goddamn it. You niggas can't have my poach chops, goddamn. He said, way up there 59 in the real way, goddamn. Oh, yeah, so we gonna turn up, man. Gonna get into the building. Vaughn say he out there Texas. Gonna get into the bill, goddamn. We want to turn this bitch up, man. Y'all on y'all toes out there, goddamn. Y'all ready to get active in this hoe? Let me jump on that like button, man. Like the chat up, man. Let's get some flames in this hoe. Y'all ready to rock out? Yeah. It's Friday, man. Hold up, man. I said, man, we gotta get active, man. Let's ride on some niggas.
That's gonna fuck me for that AP. Fuck me for that AP. Fuck me for that AP. If I wasn't
them on that like button, goddamn, share the video. What's up with the bitch? You running that home. Carry like representing New Orleans. We on the way down there, goddamn. We on the way to New Orleans, kid. You finna go, you finna turn up in New Orleans.
Too deep. Popping freaks. Bitch on demon time. She don't get sleep. You get shit and then I'm a 5, 5, 1, 2, 3. Hot that shit. Baby, that pussy was so in the way. I wasn't in love with none of them anyway. Yeah, hot that shit. Baby, that pussy was so in the way. I wasn't in love with none of them anyway. No, I'm in too deep.
Yeah. Y'all really rock this bitch out, man. We go ahead on the turn up, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, goddamn. But let me get one with the ancestors real quick, and we're gonna go in.
Real bad. I know one day I would do it real bad. Real shit. I know what my real niggas feel is. Nighttime, low soul, and even see the stars, but we still wish. Real shit. Who would ever thought that we would feel this? Trying to walk to school, get your jaw socked. Trying to pump your gas, get your car shot. Large profit margin on the long shots. Cause young niggas rarely make it off the R block. Nighttime, low zone. Fucking young bitches while they folks home. High school, didn't go. Couldn't understand my plan, now you niggas know. Self-made, well paid. I'm from where they tell you never touch the shell case. I'm from where they teach you never trust a pale face. They start banging, I can tell you about a failed race. Real shit. I know what my real niggas feel is. Nighttime, low zone. Fucking young bitches while they float on. Real bad. I know one day I would do it real bad. Real shit. I know what my real niggas feel is. Nighttime. Low zone, and even see the stars, but still wish. Real shit. Whoever thought that we would feel this? Sold out shows, that's a door split. Niggas ain't show up, that's a forfeit. Left my record label, just got more rich. I switched it up, that's me singing on the chorus. But still I spit bars so gutter. Drive course, no stutter. Top floor, no clutter. Hardwood floors though, white wall, that's where my awards go. Running from the law till they foreclose. Sit with myself when them doors close. Sometimes I got a question, only Lord knows. What I'm doing out, the niggas spinning euros. Nighttime, Low song, do it big, nigga, till my low song. Real shit, real shit. I know all my real niggas feelings. Real bad, real bad. I know one day I would do it real bad. Real shit, real shit. I know all my real niggas feelings. Nighttime, low songs, and even see the stars, but still wish. Real shit, real shit. Who never thought to be real with?
Work. Real big, real big. I know one day I would do it real big. Real shit, real shit. I know all my real niggas feelings. Nighttime, love songs, and even see the stars, but still wish. Real shit, real shit. Never thought you feel this. All right. So this right here was supposed to be for BCU only, but we're gonna rock out with the family, man. Two niggas gonna have to put some points on the scoreboard tonight. We finna work though. You know, when I look at this picture, man, I be thinking about Treese. I don't know why she remind me of Treese ass, but then they all kind of look like the mom and everything. But you know, this picture right here, man, is powerful to me because you know when we look up at this, you know, one of the biggest things in the game that we hear about, you know, people will say, "Well, shit, nigga, if I Google you, the Indian don't look like you." You know, what tribe? What's that tribe again? Let me get that tribe. What's that tribe you from? Oh yeah, shit. I just googled that tribe. They don't look like you. Yeah, I don't know what you got going on, man. Flamethrower in that hoe. What's up with it, Nay Nay? thicker than a snicker. Representing the Texas Triangle. What's that with the T for Miller? Yes, everything. And so they always look up and they say, yeah, man, I just Googled that, fam. I ain't even gonna bullshit you. I hear you. That shit you said, it sounds real good. You say your grandma told you that? Oh, okay. Was she on painkillers? No disrespect, because they taking a lot of painkillers now. Maybe her head was hurting or something. She trying to get you out of her face or something. Yeah, cause when I Googled that, fam, I ain't see you or your grandma on that motherfucker. I seen another nigga. Yeah, sure. Let's walk. So right here, if you look at this picture, and you know your shit, I would look at this picture and I would say, they country, them some country motherfucker right there. I'm looking at the hairstyles, god damn it. We look to the side right here though. This country living, man. You can see by the house in the back. Probably farmers on the farm or some shit. But this represents. Watch this here, y'all. This represents the foundational Black American. How y'all like that? Yeah, in a real way. This represents the landowners, the indigenous people here. When you think about the culture here in America, you think of the culture identifies with a people. Now you had a lot of people come through and they pinched off the swag, they bit off of it, or you'll look up and you'll say, well, then they got the same thing that we got. But society is telling us that we are borrowing from someone else's culture. I mean, just everything about America make you feel at home. You know what I mean? But somebody have attempted to make you uncomfortable in your own home. And that's what the making of a Native American, part 2. Said the Indian right there, them 2 shots, nigga, bang, bang, let's walk. Evolution of the Portuguese order, Santiago, 1492, 1600, man. During the reign of Dennis, 1279, much is done to nationalize the military orders existing in Portugal. The disbanded International Order of the Knights of Templars had proven the basis of a new Portuguese Order of Christ, founded in 1319. King Dennis also accelerated efforts to separate the Portuguese branch of the Order of Santiago and Espando in Castilian control. Similar moves were made to free the Portuguese Order of Saint Bento de Avius from Castilian. In 1363, King Pedro I had a 7-year-old illegitimate son. He fucking out of had a baby by a side bitch. Okay, João named Master of the Order of Avius. João was the first son of Portuguese monarch to hold a post in 1381. The same João Master Avius began to do a successful challenge to step his niece Queen Beatrice into marrying Juan of Castilla, the Portuguese throne. 2 years later, João, founder of the Avius dynasty, was crowned king of Portugal. Exactly when João I gave up his mastership of Avius, but in 1388, Don Fernando Rodriguez, the Order of Commanders, a strong supporter of King João, was elected master of the Order of Avius. He held that post until his death. Damn, I double slide. So Portuguese is gonna in the later part of his reign and aftermath of in 1415, João continued his father's practice of royalizing Portuguese military orders by naming 2 of his sons master of the orders of Santiago Christ. When the post was vacant, João request to Pope Martin on the 8th of October 1418 by the bull of Epistocles, named the king 18-year-old son Prince Jao administrator of the Order of Santiago. So he gonna lock the board up with his two sons. Why wouldn't you? But they're trying to strengthen the military force here in the Portuguese. In 1363, okay. And so they push out. One of the guys who is going to be a part of this, going to be a guy by the name of Ferdinand. And Ferdinand Magellan was called Hernando. He was a soldier, sailor, and a navigator of Portuguese origin and a noble lineage. It was an important character for the monarch. He was named commander-in-chief of the navy to discover the Especiria and the Knights of the Order of Santiago. And so he gonna bang Order of Santiago, which is a Christian military religion order, Knights founded by 1116 in Spain for the purpose of fighting Spanish Muslims, which would be black Moors, and protecting pilgrims on their way to the shrine of Santiago. Originally called the Order of Saracens, and the city which founded by the order is assumed Santiago, named in 1171. So that's gonna lead us over to the Battle of Mactan. Now, Fernando Magellan, who was the Order of Santiago, they're gonna take this Portuguese Spanish military over into the Philippines. Philippine Islands, man, they were advanced civilization over there. An ancient connection with the people, the indigenous people of the Americas. Even in the languages, as far as anyway, we'll get to that another time. But even far as the languages, it's a deeper connection. What I'm trying to say, with the people there that was in the Yucatan and also in the Philippines. But let's walk. A Portuguese explorer, Ferdinand Magellan, was killed by a poison arrow during a skirmish on the island of Mactan in what is now Philippines. Magellan and his crew were assisting the local king that had allied with when they landed on the island of Cebu weeks earlier. And so this guy would go there and be murdered by the indigenous people of the islands. Now, what's important after this here, what's important about this is that when they got here, when they tell the story, they make it seem as though they're going in and overthrowing something. But when they get there, they are allying, because you niggas is always gonna be somebody who gonna have that hoe up in them, who not gonna be there for the same reasons, who gonna be there for a selfish reason, maybe some jealous shit or something. It's gonna be some self-centered shit. And they have no problem with allying with these people to come take down and sharing, because they not in this shit for their ancestors. They not in this shit for the future. So Magellan was killed in this battle at Cebu. Now the Spanish would come back, the same allies, they would get stronger, and then with their indigenous allies, they would overtake their rival enemy tribes. That era would start an era of the Manila Galleon. For 2.5 centuries, Spain carried a trade and a monopoly between the Philippines and Mexico, and indirectly with Spain itself. The trade carried out state-of-the-art vessels known as Manila galleons, developed by naval architects around 1550. Now, I want you to know this had nothing to do with the Portuguese or the Spanish. Why? Because they had just got into the ship game, just got into navigate, just got into this whole experience. So this was a science that was coming from this side of the world, and also something that was familiar with the Americas because that route was an ancient trade route, which connected this side to the Pacific, the Pacific Islands, and Asia, and so on and so forth. But um, shipyards and caveat take forces of many as 8,000 men called Kagans were organized by the Spaniards to cut trees, convert them to timber, and haul them to shipyards. Able-bodied Filipinos were forced to work in shipbuilding on a compulsory system called polo. For 2.5 centuries, more than 100 galleons were built in the Philippines. Some were built in Pakistan, Albay, Mindro, Mardiki, whatever the hell. But majority were built uh, in the Philippines. Every year between 1507 and 1815, the galleon sailed from Manila to Acapulco to carry on a flourishing trade monopoly for Spain. In the beginning, one of every 5 members of the crew was Filipino native. In later years, watch this, as much as 50 to 80% of the crew were Filipinos. The other crew members were Mexicans and Portuguese. This is very important. I kept saying, bro, when you see a Filipino, bro, you're looking at a Mexican. If you ever seen a Mexican, then you looking at a Filipino, bro. I mean, the way they built, the size, the way they mannerism, how they act, bro. I'm telling you. And let's walk though. One of these places that was affected was Luzon. It was originally inhabited by people called the Negritos before Austronesians and Tawan arrived and displaced them. The Spanish ended up coming in the 16th century, um, and they had the establishment of Las Islas Filipinas, which is the capital, Cebu, and that's where Fernando and them raided, and he was murdered at. But like I said, the Spanish would come back later, and they would ally with them and be successful. And they ended up moving the capital to Manila, and that's where you get the Manila galleon. But these Luzia people, uh, they was originally inhabited by Negrito. They identified these people as Indians as well. They called them Luzon Nueva Castile. They called them was the new Castile, but they also referred to these people as Luzon Indians. Uh, and right here we'll see the indigenous people, uh, and then you'll see the people today. Uh, this type of and right here, if you see the baby, clearly he look Asian, Chinese baby right there. So the service that these people was under was called Polo Wa Servio. This was forced labor. It was practiced by the Spanish colonizers for 250 years. It required the forced labor of all Filipino males from 16 years old to 60 years old for 40-day periods. The workers could be placed on any project the Spanish wanted, despite hazardous or unhealthy conditions. It was not only Filipino but Chinese mestizos as well who were forced to do polo service. The word polo refers to community work, and the labor was called polista. The community projects including cutting logs, forests, building ships, repairing churches, as well as constructing government buildings, roads, and also bridges. And so when we go into these some of the faces of the indigenous people that were affected by this. What's up with it? Trees turn up one time. And so when we go in there, these are some of the people that will be affected. These would be some of the faces. You can tell some of the Asian features in them as well. But when we look up today, this is your typical Filipino family today. What society with mainstream. There they go. These people be called Chinese mestizos. Chinese mestizos were an important element of Philippine society in the 19th century. They played a significant role in the formation of the Filipino middle class, the nation reforms, and the 1898 revolution, and the formation of what is now known as Filipino nationality. Now, this right here is very important because when you're dealing with colonization, what happened was class systems. All right, that's why you see free people of color systems and free Negro systems, and these were class systems. So when no different than what they call them, registered tribes. You know what I mean? Your government, what they call them? It'll come to me. But your civilized tribes, basically. And these niggas right here are part of the system. Why? Because they have the colonizer blood. And so once you get the colonizer blood, you are put into a certain class. Check. That was no different than the Creole system. That was no different than like we say, the civilized tribes. No different than why people start whitening or lightening their skin and all this to here start taking place in the colonies. They were building this class system there. Let's walk. And so, even when they do their whole traditions, these people, knowing they're not the indigenous people, they would depict themselves as black. They'll paint their bodies, their faces. Check them out to be dark skinned. Why? Because the original people there were dark skinned. These would be the indigenous tribes of what is now in the Philippines. But today when we look up, this is what is mainstream does. I'm just walking through this because we finna start sitting down on our punches early. We're going for a knockout. But so the Spanish get here to the islands and create a system there. And the only way in is, you're recognized, federal recognized tribes, right? And why are they federal recognized? Because they have the blood of the colonizer. And they have their people in place who is running it. So it's the same body. But the Chinese mestizo and the formation of Filipino nationality. The recorded history of Philippines will be incomplete with the basic understanding of contemporary society unless it takes into account the Chinese mestizo contributions to the development as a nation. The Chinese mestizos were an important element of Philippine society in the 19th century. They played a significant role in the formation of the Filipino middle class, the actation of the reforms in the 1898 revolution, and the formation of what is known as the Filipino nationality in contemporary times. The road nation building continued. Filipinos with Chinese blood in their veins have occupied important positions at the highest level of the government. Okay? Filipinos with Chinese blood. And I want y'all to understand, like I say, these class systems, these relationships are all based on bloodline. Everybody is going on bloodline. We got to focus on bloodline. Now, because, everybody talk about this relationship with U.S. and China. And what we got to understand is those people that are there in place in China don't look like the original people that were there in China. So I want y'all to pay attention. We're gonna take this motherfucker. And like we're saying, these class systems and these relationships are set up by bloodline. No different in the Pan-African movement. They talking about, they never ran in their own Selassie them, and Ethiopia never was. Why you think it went up? Give a fuck what face they put on it, nigga. The bloodline gonna be there. Obama was the president. They said he was kin to a couple of white boys. They say Bush and them is because some shit like that. But you gotta have a bloodline though, man. Is what I'm saying. So if a nigga sitting on the seat and then we sitting at the table together, that nigga got the bloodline. That's the only way you gonna get there. But the people that's sitting at the high, Filipinos with Chinese blood occupy the important and the highest level of government. During the first half of the 20th century, one of the dominant national political figures, later the vice president of the Philippine Commonwealth, was Sergio Osmeña, who was the president of the Philippine Commonwealth. Was a Chinese mestizo. During the American regime, the roster of Philippine National Assembly was veritable list of China mestizos. A number of Chinese mestizos have become president. Jose, Elpido, Raymond, Fernando, and others in the public service recently to date include Prime Minister Caesar, Minister Carlos Roberto Arturio, National Foods and Grain Administration Jesus, Director of the National Library Dr. Finn, and the Court Justice Claudia. And so this Chinese blood in these Philippines was they created a buffer class through there, and this is the system that's gonna overthrow and grant these people benefits and overthrow the indigenous people there. As the Chinese mestizo population increased, the question of the legal status arose. Okay, same shit we saying this our motherfucking land where our legal status is. They don't want to give you legal status in the U.S. jurisdiction because this your shit and they really ain't got no business here. Let's walk. But as the Chinese mestizo population increased, the question of legal status arose. From the beginning of Spanish occupation to about 1740, the inhabitants of the Philippines were classified into three classes: Spaniards, Indios, and Chinese. The legal status of the Chinese mestizo will ultimately resolved in 1741 when the whole population was reclassified. Okay, and through colonization, motherfucker ain't got no problem with reclassifying your ass. That's how you know it's all some bullshit. Either you from the land or not, bro. So, in 1741, the whole population was reclassified for the purpose of tribute or tax payment in four classes: Spaniards, Spanish mestizo, who were exempt from the tribute, why? Because they got the blood; Indios, Chinese mestizo, and Chinese, who were all tribute-paying classes, although each class was assessed by a different amount. In the 19th century, the tribute or the head tax paid by Indio was equal to that of the Chinese mestizo, and that of the Chinese was $6, which classification of the mestizo was legal, distinct class. They were entitled to form their own gremio mestizo sangles. That was the god of the Chinese mestizos, and list apart from the records of the natives under their own. In villages where the mestizo tribute payers number from 25 to 30, they form their own barangay. Otherwise, they belong to the nearest barangay of the natives. So these people were broken down in the class after the Spanish arose, and before they got there, the Chinese had been there and interbreeding with them, and so that's why they broke them down and organized them different classes. Also, who had the blood, also who was the aggressive tribes, also was the people who were living on, were moved off their land and could have been a potential threat. But like we said earlier, even when they'll do these, they'll hold these traditions, they would depict themselves as black. But when we show up, this is the Filipinos presidency race. These who running for president, but this is a whitewash of the indigenous people there. When we look up, none of these people are like the indigenous people. None of these people even look alike. That look like a stone cold white lady right there, but that's a Filipino. But I mean, look, you got Manny Pacquiao down here, the boxer. But it's the presidency race in the Philippines right now. Manny Pacquiao going for it. He the only person I know on that motherfucker. But these Sanglis, right? So out of there come these Sanglis. Sanglis are Chinese mestizos, all right? Which is a term Filipino to describe a person of pure overseas Chinese ancestry and mixed Chinese and native Filipino ancestry. They later were referred to in Spanish Indio. Um, Respectively, during the Spanish colonial era in the Philippines, the Sangli Chinese were on the preceding ancestral group of both modern Filipinos and modern Filipino mestizo descendants. The mestizo de Sangli Chinese mixed descendants of Sangli Chinese and native Filipino who were mestizo uh, under the Spanish colonial empire classified together with Filipino mestizo, such as the mestizo de Español, Spanish mestizos. And so I want y'all to look at these people right here. And when you look at a Mexican, I mean, look at the hair, especially y'all over on the West Coast too. Look at the hair. But check these women out. If you'll see them, man, these look like Mexican women, man. You know, if I see them, but these are Filipinos. These are actually Filipinos. When we look here, we see the modern day Filipinos, and when we look here, this is also a Filipino. And through that colonialism, they were able to um, create this a buffer class, a middle class, and a lower class, which we see the indigenous people of the islands at the bottom of. And you know, all the foreign blood and the mixed blood, and we see them given certain benefits and placed certain position over these people, and they wash away their history. During the late 16th and 17th centuries, countless slaves from culturally diverse communities in India's subcontinent and Southeast Asia journeyed to Mexico on the ships of the Manila galleon. And so, upon arrival in Mexico, they were grouped together and characterized as chinos. The experience illustrates the interconnectedness of Spain colonies and the reach of the crown, which brought people together from Africa, the Americas, Asia, Europe, in historically unprecedented way. In time, Chinos in Mexico came to be treated under the law as Indians, becoming indigenous vassals of the Spanish crown under 1672. Like we just spoke about in the situation earlier, your benefits will come through the blood. And so a lot of them was taking the blood and also taking the religions coming into the culture that was helping the Spanish get their numbers up, and they wanted to amalgamate. As long as your ass is going against the indigenous people here. And what did they do? They gave them indigenous status, even though they were slaves coming from somewhere else, right? And so when they got there, because these are these tribes who they were rivaling with, they really wanted them off the island so they can take the land and take the resources off the land and not have to deal with, no trouble from these guys. But they take them to Mexico, man, give them a new life, give them a new start, man. A lot of them convert and they become Indians, becoming indigenous vassals of the Spanish crown after 1672. The implications on the legal change were enormous. As Indians rather than Chinos, they could no longer be held as slaves. Okay? They could no longer be held as slaves. And so they took them out of a slave status. And, a lot of them people made their decision, man. So from that, let's walk. So China poblana is a style dress worn by Mexican women in Pueblo. from the 16th through the late 19th century, the word China had little to do with China. China poblano was originally a name given to domestic servants, but who was used to refer to Poglicilla, a woman who wrapped cigars in laundries, or a prostitute. Asia had taken the city of Pueblo, Mexico, where she became a popular saint named Catarina de San Juan. She was unique in the churchmen crusade to canonize her an exemplary Christian after her death, but her life trajectory closed approximately that the other Chino slaves who made the journey from Asia to Mexico in the 17th century with them. And so if we looked it up, they would tell us that this, the word don't have anything to do with China. It referred to prostitutes, shit like this here, right? And then they say the China poblano is a dress that's worn by Mexican women. Now, but see, this is how they come and take the history, because somebody out there want this history to go away. It goes totally against what a lot of these motherfuckers is spitting out here. But the dress really referred to Catarina de San Juan, okay, who was a Chino slave who came to Mexico. And we also get that in the book, Asian Slaves in Colonial Mexico. And right here is the font of China Poblano in Pueblo, Mexico. This font celebrates the legend of China Poblano, which is loosely based on the life. Okay, the China Pueblo is based on the life of Catarina de San Juan, who was a Chino slave who came there. And so when we look at it, and they want to try to take the Chinese off of it, but these people with Chinese mestizos coming into Mexico. And see, just by them today telling us or pointing them, bringing them out to the public to us, is these are the indigenous people of this land. Check. But now we know that they are really Chinese mestizos, Spanish mestizos and shit, right? And a lot of them are coming out of this Asian trade, Pacific trade, and from the Philippines through this Manila Galleon trade. But they've been given indigenous status, and today we look at them and they say, this they shit. No disrespect, beautiful baby girl right there. You have some of the indigenous people, and this is Mexico. And why is this important? Because when we look up, if we say, hey, homie, we from America, motherfucker telling us, hey, well, I just Googled you, fam. I mean, I hear you. I really hear what you're saying, bro. But I just Googled it, and I don't see you. Yeah, man, I don't see you, man. I just Googled your ass, nigga, but I don't see you. Hey, appreciate that love, Chevy. Appreciate that love, Mr. Clark. He say, just wanted to show love. I'll catch it later. Okay. Appreciate that love, Jack. Appreciate that love, Gerald Mitchell. DJ Silv in that hoe. Appreciate that love, fam. He say, let them have it, Chief, in a real way. Appreciate that love, born here. Appreciate that love, Baltimore. Appreciate that love, Daniel. Appreciate that love in the cash app. Let's run the motherfucking scoreboard up tonight, goddamn. Let's run that bitch up. Don't be out here playing like the Houston Rockets. Don't look like the don't go out like the Sacramento Kings in the motherfucking goddamn. Let's run the goddamn scoreboard up. Let's get on some Milwaukee Bucks shit around this hell, goddamn. Let's get on some Phoenix Suns shit. Shout out to Phoenix Suns, David Taylor. In a real way. The galleon trade was instrumental in bringing the first Filipinos to the New World, now the United States called Luzones Indios by the Spaniards. Filipino sailors were among the crew of the galleon Estrella Senor de Esperanza, commanded by Pedro, a voyage discovered and explorer of the coast of northern California, 1587. On October the 18th of that year, the ship entered Morro Bay. And this is where we get Morro Bay, California, right here, 1587. The Spanish and the Philippines will get here. And again, a lot of them having this Chinese blood, Asian blood, Chinese mestizo, Philippine mestizo, you know, and that what come, they bring a slave class with them, but they also bring the blood and also the class that they created. They bring those people there to govern it. So when we hear in this Filipino conversation, they'll make it like it was the people coming running away. No, it was offspring. They were just setting up another base. All right. And the Spanish had a lot to do with it. It was their idea. Let me put it like that. Now, another place that would be affected by this population. So we go through California, Louisiana. Louisiana was inhabited by Native Americans when the European explorers arrived in the 17th century. Settlements and colonization began in the 18th century. Some current places names include Atchafalaya, Natahoochee, now spelled Natahoochee, Caddo, the Homer, the Tag, the Avoya, are from Native American dialects. Several Native American tribes inhabit the regions using current parishes boundaries to describe approximate locations. The Bayou Ugla are part of Choctaw Nation in the area directly north of the Chittimachas in the East Parish of St. Helena. The Tangapua, Washington, East Baton Rouge, West Baton Rouge, Livingston, St. Tammany, the home of the East West Felicia and the Pointe Coupe parishes, the Tunica and Northeast parishes, these Louisiana Indian tribes. If we look right here on the map, we'll see these populated areas right here. We'll be dealing with the coast. My family left here off the coast, New Iberia, and came here. It's New Iberia right here. You can see Beaumont. This is what they named from, y'all. Joe 47 right here on the corner right here. You got Lake Charles right here. So as soon as you come across, you got Orange and you got Port Arthur down there. That's what Joe 47 from, and Nene big booty ass down there. She out of Beaumont right here out of Lake Charles. My people them came out of New Iberia. They went here to Call, Texas. Up in this area right here, Jasper. That Jasper area right there, Kirbyville, shit like that. Country, man. You blink, you'll miss it, man. Newton County, all in that area right there. Turn it one time. But we're gonna be focusing in this area right here, down on the Delta, Mississippi Delta, right here. The walk. Yeah, man. Cause they'll tell you, man. I Googled it, fam. I hear what you're saying. You know, I see what y'all got going on. I'm really feeling the movement, family. But when I Google it, I don't be seeing you niggas though, man. You know. I don't see you. I think I be Googling this shit up, bro. And I be like, what my niggas said? And I don't be seeing y'all, bro. So I hear you, nigga. You sure you ain't come here on no slave ship? I mean, that sounds a little more logical. Cause when I Google it, I be seeing you, nigga. I mean, you on the road. When I'm looking up niggas that came on slave shit, all I see is you niggas. But when I Google that Indian shit you niggas talk about, respectfully, I ain't seeing you niggas, man. That was niggas, okay? I don't be seeing you niggas, man. All right, man. When France began colonizing the Gulf at the end of the 17th century, the Chittimacha territory extended westward from the bayou, spanning the rich ecosystem of bayou lakes and natural leaves known as today as the Appalachia Basin. The Chittimaches explain their origins in the wetlands, the world covered with water, full of fish and shellfish, when the Great Spirit created it. So he told the crawfish to dive beneath the water and bring up mud to make the earth. Once this was done by the crawfish, the Great Spirit gave the Chittimacha laws. They soon became careless and forgot them. The world was no longer good, and the men did not care to live. Knowing that something had to be done after giving it much thought, the Great Spirit created tobacco and women. But still, it was not well, because the animals made fun of the Chittimachas for having neither no fur, no feathers to cover their bodies. Things began to improve, though once the Great Spirit gave them the bow and arrow and showed them how to make fire and cook food. And I missed my slides. I missed like 6 slides on this hoe. And I already had the music going. I scrolled through and I said, damn. But it's all good though. But this is the situation when we're watching the Mardi Gras, when we're watching the Louisiana Indians, and we're watching their dress code. They tell us that we adopted this from somebody else's system. And when we go into the origin stories of these tribes in Louisiana, in the origin story, they said that the animals laughed at them when the great creator created them. He gave them women and he gave them tobacco and weed. You niggas gave you nigga weed, smoking, told you shit. The creator put this shit here for me and you. Yeah, the nigga gave you weed, he gave you smoke, he gave you big booty women and beautiful women. And it wasn't enough because the animals was laughing because you niggas ain't have no feathers or no fur. So during the when they celebrate the Mardi Gras, they'll dress up in the furs, they'll dress up in the feathers and shit. Coming from the origin stories, bro. Let's walk. Nigga told you, nigga, you got that from Africa. Nigga came here from Gambia and showed you how to do that shit. Let's walk. Chittimacha people indeed developed highly efficient wetland forest economy. The countless earth and shell mounds dating back to the 13th, 14th century is visual evidence. Those seasonal hunt, gathering fish, food, crops, gardening, they produce sustainable livelihood, sustains rich culture, governed by headmen. Chittimachas perform ceremonies uniting the many villages, communities into fluid political organizations to match this environment and economy. To secure peace and conflict with other indigenous nations, they relied on performance. But and so we go here and watch the Indian tribes of the lower Mississippi. Chittimacha people indeed developed highly efficient wetland. Hold on. Okay, within a few short years, the French contacted Chittimachas found themselves suffering through a war unlike they were previously endured. For 11 years, the French colonial government of Louisiana and Indian allies waged campaigns, destroying many communities and taking many captives. And so this Indian slave trade is about to begin down here. I'm gonna tell you, bro. You know, when a nigga think about it, bro, this shit is not okay. It's not okay, bro. See, because what they're saying happened, bro. It's something happened to us, and you can feel it, bro. Something happened to them people down there in Louisiana. This is what we're talking about now. When these people gonna wage this war on these folks for this land. And it's gonna affect so many people's lives. What these people gonna have to go through, and it was by a lot of other niggas too. A nigga from the other side of the river came over here with some more niggas that he just met. My uncle and them grew up with them niggas, you know. Great grandpa and them grew up with them niggas in back in the game when we all was together. The nigga fell out over some bullshit, you know, fist fought or whatever. Nigga got hit with an arrow, but we was cool. But you come over here with some other niggas and man, them niggas start they're gonna crank the slave trade up. So they waged campaign destroying communities, taking many captives, this abruptly shattering the Chittimacha life, beginning in 1702 when an unauthorized French force attacked the village on the Bayou La Fourche and took some 20 women and children as slaves. Besieged by Chickasaw attacks 4 years later, the Tennessee Indians moved the Tennessee Indians moved downriver from the previous homeland to settle in the Bayou Lucas near present-day Bayou Lucas, Louisiana, but then drove their host away. The Chittimacha captives at Mobile, Dennis sold them over 200. He sent the first settlements to Mobile, Biloxi. Some enslaved Chittimachas were purchased by men who brought them to Natahoochee to New Orleans toward the end of 1710. Two Chittimacha sisters, Jean and Marie, Teresa de la Grande Terra, married Francisco de Bern and Jacques Goutin, and their male children became prominent persons in the colonial community in Natahoochee. For many of the Chittimachas, enslavement by the French and their Indian allies had a scattering as well as shattering. During decades of war on the southern edge of the vast shadow zone, scores of Chittimacha women and children became the core of French Louisiana militia slave population, while others were trafficked through the Gulf Coast to the Caribbean during the height of the war. Shit that motherfuckers don't never talk about. You know, the real reasons why we got to come here and look for our family. The real reasons why we got to build a community, and we got to protect it, a safe space for us to come and get together and take this journey. You know, because the reality is something did happen here. You know what I mean? And we trying to figure it out, but these are the stories that don't get told. So when a nigga look up and they talking about slavery in America, we talking about slavery in Louisiana. But a nigga say, bro, I just Googled you, fam, and that ain't, they got you on a boat, tied up in the back of a boat. Yeah, man, you on the way to the Carolinas, man. That's what nigga just told me that. On November 28, 1729, the Natchez Indians massacred more than 200 settlers in Fort Rosalie, a French post in the area of present-day Natchez, Mississippi. That part, headlines read, Natchez Indian massacred more than 200 settlers. And apparent shock to many at the time, this displayed the Francovia of the Indian by the Indians seemed to have been aberration to the harmony apparently existing between the colonists and the European nation of the natives of North America. For nearly 30 years of the French experience, by summer of 1729, Dechaparre was looking for land in the Natchez country for a plantation. After surveying the area, he decided the great village of the tribe was the best location. On reaching his decision, the captain insisted that the Indians move immediately. Yeah, because he out on the stroll, man, and he out here looking for property. Nah, bro, listen, man. Somebody, nigga say, man, nigga gotta feel me, man. Nigga say he been looking for years, nigga, and he really trying to settle. He really trying to move in now. Only problem he fucked up about is somebody already lived there. But this the property that he been looking for. This shit, he got wall to wall. This shit right here, man. I because some in my heart say, when you see that motherfucker, you gonna know that's it. Nigga, I'm here. I can feel it, nigga. Nigga say this it. He say, say, man, I'm gonna need y'all to get y'all shit and get up out of here, man. You been here thousands of years. Hey, okay, it's okay, brother. It's okay, brother. It's your last day. Get your shit. I'm here now. On the morning of November 28th, a large hunt party of the Natchez arrived in French settlement, asking for the use of French munitions for their expedition. The chiefs were seeking Dechaparre with a gift from their harvest, a final ceremony of the land exchange. Because, I mean, the nigga just told me I better get the fuck up out of here when he come back. My shit better be gone, nigga, or I'm gone, or some shit like that. So, nigga say, nigga, by the time he get back, nigga, I better have all my shit together, or he gonna get me and my shit together. So them niggas show back up on November 28th, man. And, you know, what that nigga said on Belly when Method Man went to Omaha. He went out there to Nebraska, and he was looking for that nigga. He say, what's the science? He say, what he told that nigga? He said, I brought a gift in the whole nine for you, B. Brought a gift in the whole nine. Yeah. And so they pull up on him, and they looking for the nigga D, and they got gifts and shit. Cause you know, we want to show you our appreciation. You so much of a real nigga, bro. We want to bring you some gifts, you know, housewarming gifts on your new property. You hear me? Cause you said the other day, I better get my bitch ass up out of here, nigga, or else. And so D came to the door of the cabin. He got 3 bitches in the bed with him. They got coke on the log. Them niggas, they got backwood rolled up, backwood doobies, and they ain't even smoking them out. They get halfway done, they just throw them down to the ground. Just rich nigga shit. And you know, he come up there, got the other nigga got on the motherfucking Louis Vuitton robe. He come out that bitch in the Versace robe. He naked under that hoe. And he comes to the door. And them Indians standing out there, and a large hunting party of Natchez arrived and said, okay. And so when D opened the door of the cabin, the natives opened fire immediately. He said, hey, what y'all doing out there? Kafire! Kafire! Yeah, nigga. Hey, D, we just wanted to come congratulate you, man, on your new property, man, and bring your housewarming gift. He said, what you got? Nigga blew his whole chest through his back. Fuck, nigga, left him in the dope still. And that shit right there began the battle of rage. Hold on, fuck that, nigga. That's gangster. That's some gangster shit. That's some real Indian shit right there. Fuck you mean, nigga, I better get away from here. So they began the battle with rage most of the day, resulting in the death of 144 men, 35 women, and 56 children. No one knows how many members of the Natchez tribe survived. Some found refuge with the Chickasaw, others with the Cherokee. The Natchez people were now scattered, too few in number to ever again be organized, resistant to the white man who destroyed their nations. And yeah, man, they went and gave it to them niggas, brother. You gonna go out, bro? Gonna go out. They went and gave it to them, though. You bitches want to rock? We finna rock out here. He say, man, hey, man, turn up. The Germans. How many of y'all knew that the Germans settled down in Louisiana outside of New Orleans? Let's walk. The German coast was a region in early Louisiana settlement located above New Orleans on the Mississippi River, specifically in St. John the Baptist, St. Charles the Census, St. James Parish, present-day Acadia, and the name derives from the large population of German pioneers who settled in 1721 by John Law in the Company of the Indies. Let's walk. And so they got a settlement over here, man, by a guy by the name of Carl Frederick de Arsenberg. He was more than 55 years when he acknowledged leader of the German settlement there. He led a group of colonists to the German coast in 1721, and 4 years later at the tiny St. John Allmen's Church in Karlstein, he married Catherine Margaret Mextrin of Wurtemberg. She presented him with a child, Pierre Frederick, in the following year. The colonists struggled initially from disease and natural disaster, and also the Indians. The Indians came picking them apart. The Indians was on their ass out there because they had some settlements where they was buying slaves, and you know what I mean, did have slaves out there on the yard, and the Indians started riding on their ass, mainly because of the location. You know, they was able to work them bayous and backwoods on them. So we're going to come to the Treaty of Fontebello, was a secret agreement in 1762 in which the Kingdom of France ceded Spain, Louisiana to Spain. The treaty followed the last battle of the French and Indian War in North America. The battle signaled Hill September 1762, which confirmed British control over Canada and Europe. The 7-Year War continued to rage. And so for the end of it, they said it was a secret agreement between France and Spain, and France supposedly gave the keys over to Spain, which is start a new a Spanish era in New Orleans. Let's walk. In 1769, Euro-Americans in the Trans-Appalachian West held Pinckney's Treaty between the United States and Spain as a means for final gain access to vital trading conduits and through New Orleans since the American Revolution. Spain policy regarding the Mississippi River in New Orleans had closed trade to the interior parts of the Americas. After 1796, one key feature of the treaty was the creation of the right deposit that allowed North American farmers and merchants to transship their produce through Spain ports in New Orleans, free from taxation by Spanish government. And so, through this treaty, man, after the Treaty of Paris or whatever, we know there was boundary set and trade lines became strength. And they didn't want the British in, they didn't want the U.S. colonies in, and none of this shit. So Spain had a tight grip on it, man. But through this treaty of Pinckney, they're gonna open it up, and you will be able to come dock in New Orleans, but they're gonna have a situation because niggas go too far, bro. You get a nigga a foot, they want a whole leg. So we're gonna see them draw this line through here, but they're gonna get them some action. The San Lorenzo Treaty or the Pinckney Treaty is agreement between Spain and the United States fixing the southern boundaries of the United States, 31 latitude, establishing commercial arrangement favorable for the United States. U.S. citizens were accorded free navigation of the Mississippi River through Spanish territory. They granted Americans the privilege of tax-free deposit, temporary storage of goods at New Orleans. Each side agreed to restrain Indians within its boundaries. I want you to listen. Each side agreed to do what? To restrain Indians within its boundaries from attacks on the others, and there were provisions respecting freedom of the seas. The treaties wouldn't go. Why? Because you Indians, them niggas was dangerous on them seas, bro. They talk about their pirate shit, all their pirate life. Most of them niggas was Indians. Especially on that coast right there. You coming out that southern coast, you're in the Caribbean island right there. Them niggas was running that bitch all the way from Louisiana, nigga. Them niggas was all in Cuba, bro. They was all in Cuba. They was all in Havana. Back and forth, bro. New Orleans, that wasn't shit. Them niggas were going down there, bitch, spend 2 days, come back to the high, nigga. But they was hitting licks, though. They was really rocking out there, and they was experts on the sea. But let's walk. Louisiana Purchase would come later in 1803 with the land deal between the United States and France, which the U.S. acquired 827,000 miles of the land west of the Mississippi for $15 million. So you got the Spanish here now, and they're gonna create another class of their own. We hear about the French Creoles, had the relationship with the indigenous population there, but as the Spanish come, you're gonna go through another Spanish, another system, right? No different. So you're gonna have to have the bloodline, and you're gonna get the Spanish Creole system, which was, they kind of turned the heat up a little bit more. Right here is the depiction, man. It's called cheap. It says cheap labor wanted in cotton fields in the South. Okay, Chino slaves in the South. And so when we look up these people, these Asian slaves that came here, are going to be needed in the South. How in the hell did they get to the South? Well, St. Malo. Yes, everything. Sit down on the punches. Because when they say, goddamn, fam, I just Googled it, they didn't look like you. St. Malo was a village. St. Malo was established by Filipino seamen who left their ships and found a bayou in St. Malo for safe harbor. Ready access to seafood, St. Malo was deeper into the wetlands than they were willing to live, work, or location. Allow Filipinos to lay claim to some of the best fishing grounds in the region. Now, let me ask you this here. If these are the best, if this is the best fishing ground, the best seafood ground, to go and get your shit at, how would you know that if you're not from there? All right. Niggas say that nobody wanted to work back there because there were mosquitoes and animals and it was dangerous. But some kind of way you know that it's, now let's walk. Cause they say the village is formed by these people, but we'll deal with that later. And so a remote outpost accessible only by boat, St. Malo was built to take advantage of nearby fisheries and to meet the demands of seafood in New Orleans. It became the largest fishing camp on Lake Bourgeon and 13 Cypress, building the capacity house of 150 people. Filipino building the capacity of 150 people. Filipino fishermen would catch fish in the spring, summer, and gather oysters in the winter. The village served as a wholesale market for seafood merchants and a part of a departure for fishing expedition further in the south. Now, you got many stories, man. A lot of people don't want the story to be told. You got different stories, but in reality, what happened was that when the Spanish was docking here in New Orleans, these mestizos, these chinos, these Chinese mestizos and shit, they would jump ship and go and live with the Indians. Now, why you say that? Why would you say that? We'll talk about it. But see, it's like they had been written out of history. So we come in the late 80s and then you'll have an article wrote on them. But motherfuckers knew they been back there this whole time. But see, they know they back there with them niggas. And this is one of the conversations that a lot of people don't want to talk about. We'll go through there. So they back there fishing with these niggas, right? St. Malo. So they say Filipinos created it. It was the first Filipino. That's why they got these Filipinos right here. It's a Filipino village, right? But it's named after St. Malo. John St. Malo, who's also known as one St. Malo. He was a leader of a group of runaway enslaved Africans. God damn. Pan-African there. God damn it. Okay. So you got Filipino village down here. The Filipino built it, but they named it after an African slave. Wow. What the fuck is going on? Tell Jesus, bring me a beer out the freezer. God damn it. Nigga, what is going on? That nigga say the Filipino built this whole nigga in New Orleans, but it named after an African slave. You Pan-African, you bitches, you motherfuckers ain't got nothing. You niggas don't care. You don't give a fuck. Run it. They say, man, that shit don't even make no sense. He said, run it, nigga, run it. He said, bro, they gonna catch it. That shit don't make no sense. That nigga said, 2 times 2 is 5, nigga. Run it. St. Malo and his band escaped to a marshy area near Lake Bourgeon with weapons obtained from free people of color and plantation enslaved. The Maroons lived in the swamps east of New Orleans and made their headquarters, Basdu, Blavu, whatever the hell, located by Lake Bourgeon in present-day St. Bernard Parish. St. John Malo condemned by death, hanging, or charges on murder. The execution carried out by Murillo del Rigo on June the 19th. So they ended up killing him. The Filipino community of St. Malo, Louisiana was named after him. So the guy led a band, right? And so they say the nigga was running around here with a group of Africans, right? Running around here with a group of you niggas. What did we just illustrate when we was coming into this? We just broke down about these Indians. Where these Indians was living at? They was living in the glades, nigga. They was out there in the waters. That's where they come from. Their origins is those of the wetlands. The world was covered with water full of fish. These are the niggas that was out here in these bayous running around these Indian tribes, right? And out here where these niggas built their shit on the outskirts, they were overtaken by the Indians, right? But see, so now they're Africans. Could you have 2-3 Africans with them? Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. But these are Indians, nigga. These ain't homelands. Their origin stories come from here. You don't go find the best motherfucking fishing spot on the planet, nigga, and you just showed up yesterday and you know how to navigate. You already know where you got an eye of the motherfucking tiger, nigga. Shout out to the homie trademark. He said Top Cat's on this. Top Cat got the scorpion on the brick. No cut on the dope. Goddamn A1 Panico. Got the trap looking like Chick-fil-A. Appreciate that love, goddamn. Shout out to the homie KG. Appreciate that love, KG. Appreciate that little Eric in the cash app. Hey, y'all run this motherfucker up. We running this bitch up tonight, goddamn. Let's walk. As Americans living in the Mississippi Territory wondered where Choctaws might join the Red Stick Rebellion. The three primary Choctaw chiefs, Push Matata, Chief Mush, and Big A Pup, if y'all remember them from the Choctaw Bill, acted quickly to keep Choctaws neutral in the conflict. They failed to keep the Choctaws on the American side. However, a sizable number of Choctaw Red Stick supporters, what did they do? They fled to the swampy grounds of the lower Alabama River. All right. So during this same time, nigga was already running to the river. Indians, bro. And now in history, they call them Maroons. So when you go read that story, they're going to tell you about the Maroons of Florida. They're going to tell you about the Maroons of Louisiana. When it's Choctaws and motherfucking Cherokees and our people who are running to these marshy lands, these swampy grounds. Traditionally, Choctaw boys became men when they engaged in successful warfare, and the Red Stick Rebellion provided an opportunity to acquire manhood status in conventional matter for the reason in becoming United States recognized Choctaw recruits as soldiers in the U.S. Army. Choctaw men eagerly joined the war. And so the U.S. started signing up niggas inside of the giving them citizenship to sign up inside of the war. The Choctaw was some of the first to come under them, and that wasn't the original Choctaw. These were mixed races. Shout out to the homie Kerry Bay. A lot of wild Indians out here in the bottom of the booth in the real way. Savages. Goddamn what they call them. And so the Battle of New Orleans, man, we're coming to the Battle of New Orleans. 1812, 1811, you had the big revolts right there in Germantown, and a lot of them Indians was tearing shit up. Then you had the Battle of New Orleans gonna come through January the 8th, 1815. Major Andrew Jackson defeated the invading British army and intended to siege New Orleans and advance territory to acquire Louisiana. So we're gonna come from there, New Orleans, in a brutal battle to save New Orleans, outnumbered 3-1, American troops led by Andrew Jackson crushed an army of 14,000 British soldiers, and Charlotte, firing some of the American cannons, was a group of pirates turned patriots led by Jean Lafitte. Now, Jean Lafitte was a motherfucker. I didn't even want to go in on Gene because Gene deserved his own show. He was that much of powerful figure in history. And he reminded me of motherfucker's granddaddy. Them old niggas that could do everything, man. My great-great-grandpa, man, I had got a chance to meet him before I died. And Treese be telling me I look like this nigga. I got a chance to meet him before he died. But everybody used to talk about this dude, about how much of a great man he was, how much he changed people's lives. He was a workaholic. The nigga was a jack of all trades. He did everything, and he was proud of his Indian heritage. I had my feathers on and went to my grandma's house. Every time anything She hit me on the Indian shit. She gonna get to talking about her daddy. Remind me of my daddy with that shit. But Gene, man, Gene was one of them motherfuckers can do it all, bro. And he ran with some niggas called the Baratarians. The Baratarians, they were men that worked for Lafitte, and they were called Baratarians because of the waterways they used for smuggling were located in an area called Baratar, whatever the fuck, the Barra, goddamn, preserved the Jean Lafitte National Historic Park and Preserve located in this area. The Baratar swamps and bayous stretched south of New Orleans to the Gulf of Mexico. This area had been famous for smuggling, and even before privateers arrived in 1810 to use the deep water harbor of Baratar Bay. In 1812, Lafitte, the leader of the Baratarians, with headquarters on the Grand Terre, a barrier island in the Gulf of Mexico, Grand Isles, Lafitte may have had as many of 1,000 people working for him, including free men of color and runaway slaves. See, this nigga here was so cold. He had a relationship with everybody. Look at him. There you go. You know, the mother picture, they'll try to tell you he a white boy. But they got a depiction of him looking like one of you Louisiana niggas' grandpa. This nigga was so cold, they don't know his real name. The nigga went by different aliases. He got a spot in Galveston. He got a statue down there in Galveston Island. He built he got a bar. He got a goddamn blacksmith shop down there. They had a bar down in New Orleans for the nigga. This nigga was a motherfucker, bro. He was everywhere. He was everywhere, bro. The nigga was a ghost. They say he faked his death. Nigga ended up in Mississippi, South Carolina. You got spiders and sightings of this nigga. He was a bad motherfucker. They say he had over 1,000 niggas working for him. He was good with all the plantation owners, and he was good with the slaves. The niggas who was on the run and on the outside of the other side of the law or the system. He was good with everybody. Everybody fucked with him. And he was a stone cold jacker. But let's walk. They don't know where he's from. They'll tell you, I think he was a Jew. I think the nigga was Haitian. I think the nigga came from the Caribbean. He was an island boy. You know, they don't know who the fuck this nigga was. It was him and his brother. Turn up one time. But throughout Barataria, Lafitte built warehouses to store goods and pens to hold slaves. Merchants and planters came to Batara for auctions, which Lafitte held outside New Orleans to avoid the law. His knowledge of the swamps helped him to make quick getaways. Several times, customs officials and soldiers tried to capture Lafitte in the swamps, but they were usually captured or wounded or killed by the Batarians. He had them goddamn Indians with him, bro. Them niggas went playing with niggas. How we know he had Indians with him? Well, let's walk. John Lafitte, he was a privateer smuggler who disrupted Elix's adventure to fight heroically for the United States in the defense of New Orleans in the War of 1812. See, in the war, them niggas was already outnumbered. And at the end of it, he switched sides. And he helped them in the Battle of New Orleans because they promised him something. And at the same time, the niggas that fought with him, the Baratarians, they had to give them niggas, guess what? They had to give them a seat at the table. The U.S., for them niggas, affiliation to help them fight, they would have never won War 1812 without these niggas. But the agreement was my niggas that I get to fight with me, they had to bring them into the system too. They had to drop out charges and everything from them. And so he agreed. Jean Lafitte is a town. Check. It's a town in Bayou Barataria in the U.S. state of Louisiana, located in Jefferson Parish. It was named after the privateer Jean Lafitte. The population is 1,800 right now in the 2020 census. Now watch this here. Jean Lafitte was originally settled by Native Americans. Okay? The fucking property that he's talking about, this place he was running, guess what? It was originally settled by Indians. Nigga on Indian territory, and they trying to tell us that ain't none of these folks Indian. These are a bunch of runaway Africans out here with a GPS, with a Siri GPS, Google Maps. Fuck out of here, nigga. Then explored and settled by French who established the area as a harbor for large vessels coming in and out of New Orleans. Today, the community along Bayou Bartard is made up of Jean Lafitte, Crown Point, and Bartard. Indian territory, bro. Why was he so good? Why was he so good? Look, his knowledge of the swamps helped him to make quick getaways and decisions. Why was he so good? Because he was down there with the Indians, and I wouldn't get past it if his mom and them or somebody was Indians. He knew this area too much. He knew to go for Mexico too much. This nigga can go to Texas, back to Louisiana. Nigga be all in motherfucking Havana, nigga tomorrow. That bitch was cold. So after these wars or whatever, 1807, they killed the slave trade. And they started the coolie slave trade. The word coolie was very popularized in the 16th century by European traders across Asia, and by the 18th century referred to migrant Indian indentured laborers. In the 19th century, would gain a new definition of systematic shipping and hiring of Asian workers under contract on plantations that had been formerly worked by Indians. The importation of Asian migrant laborers in the European colonies was not new, occurring in the early 17th century. However, in the 19th century, a foremost robust system of the coolie trade emerged in direct response to the end of the African slave trade, at the end of slavery, and preferred mode of labor and plantation across European colonies. The British were the first experiment with coolie labor. As early as 1806, 200 Chinese were sent to the colony of Trinidad. And the very next year, in 1807, Britain outlawed the African slave trade with the Slave Trade Act of 1807. And that'll begin the era of the coolie trade. Well, again, they're going to start bringing over large populations of Asians. Now in Louisiana, man, they had sugar plantations. The Belle Chase plantation, built by Benjamin in 1842, became one of the largest manufacturing plantation in Louisiana, located in Plaquemine Parish, Louisiana. Louisiana, I'm gonna tell you how much sugar really was booming down there on these plantations. I want to show you something because they talk about the slave trade, the area slave trade, and all of this shit, right? But as decades war on the southern edge of the vast shadow, Chitimacha women and children became the core of French Louisiana initial slave population. So where is this conversation about all these Africans and shit? When they clearly tell you that the Indian, Chitimacha women and children became the core French Louisiana initial slave population. All right? While the others, men and shit, they were being sent to the Caribbean island. They was keeping the women and children. Same thing they were doing in the Carolina, in the colonies, bro. But see that every revolt in Louisiana came from Indians, and it was understood. Nobody was even arguing that, because the oppression that was coming down on these people. But these niggas come out here and talk to us with all this, you know. So when we get on the fucking plantation, nigga, if all of the Indians was fucking slaves then, why wouldn't they still be the slaves now? Makes no sense. Why would you know all the back ways and the alleys and the shortcuts and shit, nigga, but ain't no Indians there? Or you not an Indian? That's why Louisiana plantation, when the crop is in full vigor, hey, y'all jump on that like button, goddamn, and light the goddamn scoreboard up. Or Louisiana plantations, when the crop was in full vigor, in need of lovely sight within their broad expanse of leafy cane. Some of them are a great extent of the Magnolia plantation, now owned by ex-Governor Walmart, which claims to be one of the banner plantations on the state, having 492 acres in the cane last year. In 1883-84, over 172,400 acres of cane were harvested in the state. The total crop of 128,000 tons of sugar being one of the best ever made in the state. But in 1884, floods spoiled so much of the crop that only 118,650 acres were harvested, producing 94,000 tons of sugar. The crops in 1885 estimated in 110,000 tons, 20,000 freedmen. Listen, they said 20,000 freedmen, 20,000 Indians. We already know who the slaves on the plantation is. We're not here to fuck around with you niggas. Over 20,000 Indians are kept busy in the state. So much for statistics and their word to science. And that was coming from the Harper's Month, volume 73, 1886. Just telling you how much dope these niggas coming to get off the yard, how rich these motherfuckers was filling their pockets, while 20,000 motherfucking Indians went out there and broke their back every day for that. Now, Arthur says, in the coolie cane race labor of sugar in the age of emancipation, thousands of Chinese migrants were recruited to work side by side with African Americans on Louisiana sugar plantations. Okay? Thousands. Listen, family, they said thousands. Thousands of my Chinese migrants were recruited to work side by side with you niggas on the plantation, bro. In response to a series of slave rebellions in own sugar colonies, especially Jamaica, the British Empire formally abolished slavery in the 1830s. British emancipated included the payment of 20 million pounds to slave owners, immense sums that British taxpayers made loans payments over 85 years, importing indentured labor from Asia emerged to potentially way to maintain the British Empire sugar plantation system. So in places where sugarcane is grown, such as Fiji, Hawaii, Guyana, Trinidad, Mauritius, and Suriname, this is usually a sizable population of Asians who can trace their ancestry to India, China, Japan, Korea, the Philippines, Indonesia, and elsewhere in Asia. They are descendants of sugar plantation workers whose migration and labor embodied the limitations of contradictions and chattel slavery slow death in the 19th century. All right, desperate to regain power and authority after the war, Louisiana wealthiest planters emulated their Caribbean counterparts. They too looked to Asian workers for salvation, fantasizing that so-called coolies would be cheap, industrious, and submissive, making them a model minority. Okay, y'all see that minority shit, and them damn love that, right? You niggas are model minorities. Thousands of Chinese workers landed in Louisiana. Thousands of Chinese workers landed in Louisiana. Thousands of Chinese workers landed in Louisiana between 1866 and 1870. Let me tell you, family, because the niggas say, when I hit the Google, yeah, I hear you, man. I hear the things that you guys are saying with this Indian shit. But when I Google you niggas, family, I don't see it. I'm sorry, brother. What you want me to do? Google. I mean, I just don't see it when I Google it. I hear the images, brother. They gave me over 3,000 images. I don't know what you want me to do. But did you know that thousands of Chinese workers landed in Louisiana, recruited from the Caribbean, China, and California, bound to a multi-year contract? They symbolize Louisiana planters' racial hope for a new system of slavery. And who they was out there with, nigga? Working side by side with you niggas. And whoa. Louisiana sugar plantation during the Civil War by Charles Rowland, man. The supreme socioeconomic result in the war, the cane country was freeing of the areas 139,000 Negro slaves in action that transformed the great mass of black humanity of chattels into citizens. Okay? We back with this system. These niggas want to bring your ass, get out there Indian state, nigga. Let go of that sovereignty. That's why you want to run away. That's why you feel like you could do what you want to do, nigga. Come over here and be a model citizen, a minority. During the summer of 1862, the Negroes of Paris and below in New Orleans grew increasingly restive owners made unable to maintain discipline among workers because of the nearness of protected federal troops, an advantage not lost on the blacks. Large gangs of plantation Negroes wandered almost at will into New Orleans and the Union Army camps, seeking freedom, excitement, and escape from toil. Newspapers in the cities abundant in accounts of these unorganized invasions. It say this morning about 5 o'clock, record of the New Orleans Daily True Delta. Another gang of contrabands came up to the city from the lowest coast and succeeded in reaching the custom house or some other place of refuge. New Orleans by fall 1862 has hosted about 10,000 vagrant blacks, while the other throngs of accumulated at Fort Jackson, Fort St. Philip, below the city, and Camp Parapet on the riverside. Now, after 63, the Proclamation Act, like I say, they locked the board up, and they said, since y'all want to go play with the mixed races, we're going to go get the real niggas who really own the land and bring them into our system, and it's going to be our jurisdiction. And so New Orleans, the U.S. ended up getting that through the situation. And so then with this offer, a lot of the New Orleans and Louisiana, they fought side by side with the Confederates at first. And then when they later flipped and went under the USCTs. And so this is where we get this situation of this that's taking place now. A lot of the free people of color, right? Because that's who started off fighting for the Confederate at first, and then they'll later switch. And that allowed a lot of the people that they had on their plantations and different things like that, because they were leaving anyway, and these people were losing money, and they just wanted to be able to keep the land and their property and move on. And they were hoping they would get a chance to do that if they would fight on side of the U.S. But a lot of Indians left the plantations, man, and they were burning off. And so it was a higher need to replace them in the system. So they will go to the Asian slaves. That's why the culture so intertwined down there in Louisiana and New Orleans, though. Look at Kerry. Yakameen, goddamn. Yakameen, and if you ain't from Louisiana, those areas, or have family down there, you probably never heard of Yakameen. Probably never heard of Yakameen, goddamn. And so Yakameen is an NO dish made from the mix of noodles, meat, green onions, hard-boiled eggs, spicy Saudi broth, with an Asian twist from soy sauce. Some dispute the origins of an old soba in New Orleans, because they were saying nigga was drunk. Nigga showed up, man, he was drunk, and Chinese nigga made him something to eat, goddamn, and we like our food spicy, so they mixed it up. But these Asians came and lived around us, and today in the neighborhoods and shit, and we trying to see how so many goddamn Asian cookouts there. But throughout the South, on a lot of these plantations, a lot of these people came around us. It was never a system of, because the foods and the shit that they cook here, the Asian food that we cook here, Chinese food here, is not the same as what they cook in China. So they walk. But the New Orleans food culture is even intertwined because of these people on these sugar plantations with these Indians out there. So you're going to get the Burlingame Treaty. Burlingame Treaty 1868 was a major milestone in U.S. It was a major milestone in U.S. China relations. My bad. Appreciate that love, Shan. Appreciate that love in the cash app. Hey, y'all don't just look at it, goddamn. Light the scoreboard up. Let's walk. A former congressman in Massachusetts treaty established a basic article that served to advance the principle of equality between two nations. Listen, family, through this 1868 treaty, you know what he did? Because they talking now, keep saying this shit about this relationship between the U.S. and China. They sending all of their goddamn people over here as labor. Been doing it, bro. Since the 1500s in their relationship with the Spanish. What the Spanish do, the Spanish give them a seat in a government, in a hierarchy, in their upper class. So they been had that, and now they bringing they dispersing their ass all over the world. Now watch this here. Uh, the principal equality between the nations granting America most favored nation status in China. And Chinese most favored nation status in the U.S. So both of them get status in China and the U.S. The treaty recognized China's right to eminent domain while also granting concessions to America business and missionary interests in China because America wanted to push their Christianity and bring their shit and run their program. And China said, all right, no problem. You got to give me my action on the other end, though, the same way. He said, no problem. We got you. And so, and Americans, and for Christians to freely practice their religion in China were established. At the same time, the Chinese were given the right to appoint consuls to port cities in the U.S. So they want to keep people in those port cities where they can continue to get their business. And they have no problem with shipping over these motherfuckers that come help them get it done. This agreement that these two motherfuckers made. Now, both of them are going to get status in each other's government. Check. Right after that, we're going to come through the war of the Philippine-American War. You're going to go through the Spanish Wars, Spanish-American War, and after that, we're going to go through the Filipino War, man, 1899 to 1902. And from that, the U.S. is going to create a program, Howard Taft them. They're going to send over these people to America. A Philippine exposition with more than 130 buildings was built on 47 acres of fairground. There were reproductions in ancient structures like Manila cathedrals. The seat of the Spanish colonial power, more than 70,000 exhibits from the finest ethnographic church, private collections all over the island were created and shipped all the way to Missouri. So they packed all these things up. Here go the flyer. Philippine Exposition, World State Fair, St. Louis, 40 different tribes, 6 Philippine villages, 70,000 exhibits, 130 buildings, 725 native soldiers. Entire villages were built to replicate the Visayan, the Bagaboos, the Somals, the Moros, as they were called, the Igorots, the Tinganese, whatever the hell, the Negritos, and 30 other tribes. These villages were stocked with over thousands of tribal men and women and children living in these exhibits. So they had these people in these exhibits, world fast motherfucker was coming around to see them. Real life, this shit happened. And so we look up, this is New York, right? They called them the Lost Tribe of Coney Island. The Lost Tribe of Coney Island, where they took some of these slaves out there and they ran the same program. I think it was 1905. But I just want y'all to take a picture because they say, damn, man, I know y'all be saying that America shit, but when I Google it, fam, I don't be seeing y'all, man. I be Googling it, bro, and I'm just trying to figure out why I don't see y'all. So you know what I did? Because they always be saying that, family, I went back and I Googled it. And I said, damn, well, let me go see what they say, because when they Google it, they don't be seeing me. And so when I wanted to go Google it, I wanted to see who they be seeing when they Google it, and this is who I found. And I said, damn. When I pulled it up, they say this is Louisiana Indians. I say, damn. Because when I got a closer look and take a look and get hooked, I said, damn. Them Louisiana Indians? Because they say when they Google it, it don't be looking like me. And I say, well, my people that was in Louisiana, I got Indians coming out of Louisiana. I mean, I see Indians all the time in Louisiana, man. And when I Googled it, this who came up. And so this is a village of the Filipinos. So when I look it up and they talking about these villages and these where the Filipinos live, and I look up and I say, well, damn, they look familiar. So I kept scrolling and I scrolled down and I say, well, damn, that shit remind me of something that I had seen. Cause when I look over here, I see the Filipinos. They got the Filipinos up. And then when I look up, I say, damn, well, they say these are Seminole Indians. And I say, damn, that shit kind of look kind of similar. Unless they was on the same Hollywood stage, or maybe it was a set and it was a low budget. Maybe it was a low budget set or something, man. Cause when I looked, I say, damn, man, it looked like they had made up the sets. Cause they say when they did it at the World Fair, they had actually started setting up the buildings, and they what they say, entire villages was built to replicate. And I said, damn, when I looked at the picture, I said, damn, is that a replication in the photo shoot? Cause they don't look like my people now. They say they the Seminole, and I say, damn, man, I got Seminole in my family, man. And they say when we Google it, we don't see you niggas on there. And I say, damn, well, if somebody trying to, they say, well, brother, somebody trying to steal your identity, family. Somebody trying to steal your identity, family, goddamn. Cause when they say Google it, I say, nigga, have you ever Googled the first contact tribes, man, and they were smoking? He said, nah, but when I did Google the first contact tribes and smoking, this was came up. Yeah, they say when they Google it, goddamn, this one right here came up. And I said, damn. They said, damn, fam, I'm trying to help you go find your shit, man, but do you think somebody tried to steal your identity? I mean, y'all was in the same areas together. They did come live under y'all coaching and shit. Y'all lives out there making yakamine together and shit. Cause I just pulled it up and I said, damn, man, them people look familiar like a hoe. Cause they say when I Google it, I just Google shot tires and I look for the Seminoles and this who came up. And they dressed for the show, they dressed to impress, goddamn. But somebody told me, goddamn, nigga, you gotta wear the clothes, don't let them wear you. And it just looked like, I don't know, it ain't got that feel on it. So I kept scrolling and I said, damn, that shit look familiar. Cause I seen another one of them villages. And they got the American flag right here. Cause they say when you got the blood and when you join with them, you get certain incentives and shit. Yeah. They say you get certain incentives with it, man. And I started scratching my head. I said, damn, man, well, I do remember, man, when they say Chinos in Mexico came to be treated under the law as Indians. I said, damn, I remember that shit. And they said becoming indigenous vassals under the Spanish crown, but this time coming indigenous vassals under American crown. What I forgot to tell y'all, in this war, the niggas out of St. Malo in New Orleans, guess what? When they joined the war 1812, they fought with this nigga ass. He went and got him. All them niggas in St. Malo village, he went and got them. The Filipinos came and fought with them as well. And so when I look up, I say, damn, he go to this village right here, one of their villages. And I say, damn, man, it made me think of something because my family is Seminole. And so when I Googled the goddamn Seminoles, that's what came up. The Making of a Native American 2 by the legendary Big Chief Top Cat, The Filipino Invasion. Man, I want to appreciate everybody coming, pull up, come rock out with the kid on this Freaky Friday, man. Y'all enjoy yourself, enjoy y'all night. Enjoy y'all weekend. Appreciate that little Carrie Bay jumping back in that bitch. In a real motherfucking way, man. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool.
On my knees and pray.
Very beginning and everything you. In a real motherfucking way. Appreciate that little Ross Johnson. Appreciate that little Geechee.
Legendary moves. Leader of my crew.
Yeah.
Heavy as the head that wear the crown, that shit true. Do it like that puzzle, that's to fill some big shows. What good is excuses when the fucking wrist go? Smoking all that shit though. Run away from my pain, rosemary on my temples. Heard that's good for migraines. Solo in my benzo. Exit off the highway. Solitary thoughts like how to reinvest my side change. That's a great. Every night I get on my knees and pray. I won't go down. I won't go down. I'm trying to go down. Now is a legend. Every night I ask God for the blessing. I won't go down. I won't go down. So many niggas doing time. Who are you and I? To play with it, it's a blessing, so reach for the sky. Because Shady off the block, and we'll smoke and drive. Politicking on the block to make it multiply. Keep some bitches on the team from the other side. Keep at least about a green, motherfucker.
Appreciate y'all putting up T for Miller, Copper Skin, Kill 314, Georgia Style. You king, flamethrower. What's up, Sue Sil? Homie Kyle in the building. Carrie Bray said another legendary build in the real way. Riz OD 228, Sister Rhonda Johnson, the homie John Lee representing East Texas. DJ Coppertone, Ishmael Bay was in the building. Turn over time up. David Taylor, Arizona in this motherfucker. Cause Junior even in the goddamn building. Ohio. Deep, lovely. What's up with it, Miss K? Juicy Run, pull it up on it. Yeah. Shan Joy TV, deep. Shan Joy TV. P9, appreciate you putting up. Get your slow music. Tree said, my nigga. Appreciate that little friend pulling up. And I love y'all be cool like y'all be cool. The homie Miss Zach pulled up, Baron Grill. I see you, family. Tifa Miller was in her big boy Tifa Miller. All praise to the ancestors, man. Best ever did it and got away with it. D. Legendary, big chief motherfucking top cat. That's my motherfucking time. Appreciate that love, Rudy, in the cash out in a real way.